everyone. Hello, welcome to this week's Energy Insight for September 7th to September 12th. I'm just going to put it this way. Things have been coming, downloads have been happening, pieces of the puzzle are coming through, and I've literally started this a week ago, and it's been slowly coming through. It's massive, and I don't have all the puzzle pieces yet, so I'm just gonna start recording and see what comes through. So we are, for the week of September 7th to the 12th, we are in our heart chakra area. It is the week of the new moon for September. And yes, I will be releasing the new moon energy insights for the month of September, or for the moon cycle in September, very shortly as well. But I wanted to do these first because my Soul Talk members use these to help get a gauge on how the week ahead is going to be, and use the opportunity to ask any questions and explore what it means for them on a deeper level. So that gives them a little bit of grounding and footing and foundational stuff, and they can go into the week with more confidence. So it's fabulous that I get these insights early. Okay, so the week of the new moon, I'm going to show you a portion of for those that don't know what I'm talking about, before I show the new moon section of the Light Mastery Map. The Light Mastery Map is a tool that I offer for free on my website. You can sign up for the resources, the VIP portal on my website. You'll get access to the VIP portal by and then you just go in there and see all the videos, all the training, all the documents that are available for you. The Light Mastery Map, as well as a Chakra Knowledge Map, is available for download, and I use this as a tool, and so do a lot of my clients, as a tool to help alchemize the lower energy, the lower vibrational energy that they're going through, the anger, the frustration, the worry, the anxiety, the doubt that they find themselves in. And it really helps them with a truth rant, or what I call an alchemizing affirmation rant, and it helps alchemize the energy that they're in. So, but every week there has been a clear map to the moon cycles with regards to where they are affected most, where you are affected most in your chakras. And I saw this pattern and went, wow, that's amazing. That's an even deeper way to actually connect ourselves with nature, but also a deeper way of understanding that there's a pattern to our growth. There's a pattern to our growth opportunities, to our expansion, and it's helping us really deepen our progress and our relationship with ourselves, with purpose, with intention. So that being said, we are in our new moon cycle, which is our heart chakra area. Now, the heart chakra area is the domain for love, desire, value, values worth and sacrifice. So if you are challenged in this area, or you find yourself actually exploring thoughts around this domain, it's not by coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence. A lot of people tell me that during the week of the new moon, they find themselves exploring what they'd like to do that will get them closer to their goals, get them closer to that which they desire. They also find themselves in situations where, you know, they discover something that they really do love to do. They discover new loves, or they discover new ways of living that they would desire to live. Places they'd like to go, people they'd like to visit, that they find that, you know, old friends that they haven't thought of in a while all of a sudden come to mind, and they get the urge to reconnect with that person. It is not by coincidence. Growth opportunities around your worth, how you feel about yourself, and how valued you are, and what you actually value, what matters to you, will come up this week. And it all relates to what we're willing to sacrifice. Now, sacrifice is not something that you're giving up something that you like in order for, or to like in the hopes of something better. But you're going to, I used to think that sacrifice was giving up something that I really want, and for because I had to. But that's not the case at all. Sacrifice is giving up something that isn't helping you any further, isn't serving you any longer, so that you can move past that resistance and live a better life. It's not giving up a higher vibrational feeling for a lower vibrational feeling. It is giving up a lower vibrational feeling for a higher vibrational result, for a life without struggle, or less struggle than you had before. That is sacrifice. When you are in this week, you may find yourself, some of you may find yourself, you might catch yourself modulating or filtering who you are for approval from others. So changing how you would normally act around certain people. If you were at home by yourself, you would act a certain way, but around other people, you change who you are. That is lower vibrational energy. That is not being true to yourself. And when you are in that situation, you're not being honorable towards yourself, and you're not being honorable towards the other person, because they can't get to know you for who you are. It's actually being dishonest to the other person, and it's being dishonest to yourself. And it's really, we find ourselves, when we're doing this, to being consumed with belonging. We compromise things in order to keep the peace. We justify something because we can't afford that, or what will others think, and it's really like it's not honoring yourself, and it's not honoring others when we do that. The week of September 7th to 12th has a very pivotal date, and it's September 11th. And September 11th, I came across a video. Someone shared with me a video about the stars, showing the stars and the constellations that are going to happen on September 11th. And I found it very intriguing because the message that I got from this person was, remember that video you did back in May about Revelations 12, 1 to 4? Check this out. And they showed me the clip of the video, and what was showing, what was going to happen in the stars. Remember this. What is happening in the stars on September 11th of this year is what is indicated in the first two verses of Revelations 12, 1 to 2. Now I'm going to talk about that in a minute because it's very key, because there's two interpretations of these two verses that I was shown and in my exploration around this. And in the description below, I'm going to actually put the link to my first interpretation of Revelations 12. I talked about it, how it relates to having divine trust. Having trust in ourselves, having trust in God, having trust in other people, having trust in life in general. But I want to, there's more to it that has come through since then. And it's still coming through. So I know this won't be my only video for it, and there's probably going to be like a very deep dive into this, because it's fascinating to me, and I'm getting words like it's time. I'm getting words, the transition to Age of Aquarius. It's birthing a new time, a new age, and there's a lot to unpack around this, and I haven't been necessarily comfortable sharing stuff because things change in the world, and I'm not always given specifics, because when I explored that, and I was told that's because things change. Because things change. People have free will still. So I am being guided to share more about this. Last week I started sharing more about it and hinted if you watch last week's energy insight, I had my notes for, I think it was the second insight, and I put it down, and then I paused, because at that moment my guides were going, no, you need to talk about the other stuff too. The other stuff is very important. You need to share. And I felt very uncomfortable doing that, because I don't want people to think that, they're that there's something to worry about in the world. I want people, my focus is intentionally on us being the change that we need individually, so that collectively we can change the world. But we need to individually work on ourselves before we can even think about stepping out into the world and being the people we're being called to be. And a lot of people have that backwards. They're looking to the world to help them. And it's like, no, we need to do the work inside. And I know this because I've done the work. And I continue to do the work. I'm going to, there was 3 messages that came through. The first one really has to do with the connection between Revelations 12 and the transition out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And I'm still getting bits and pieces on this, but I will share with you what has come clear for me. So when I first talked in May about Revelations 12, 1-2. Now I'm going to preface this as I typically do not break down and analyze a Bible verse. And that's specifically because I'm not a preacher. I'm not, that's not my purpose in life. But for some reason, and now I have a little bit more clarity, for some reason back in May, I was guided specifically to do that here. And so I'm just going to go back and give you a little bit as to what I shared in May. What I shared in May was more of an individual. This is what we need to do as an individual. This is how we need to look at it as an individual. And then I'm going to expand on that as a collective, what that could mean for September this week. This week and possibly going into, because it will, I'm pretty sure, like the feeling that I'm getting is this is going to like bleed into the rest of September and possibly for the rest of the year. Because we've already been feeling very creative energies building up. And now that I have linked this to Revelations 12, it's very much in line with what we've been feeling. So, Revelations 12, 1-2. Now, I used the New International Version Bible. And it says, "A great and wondrous sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth." Now, what I was showing is that this woman was not every woman in the world. It was every divine being in the world. It was us individually, our higher selves. Whether you are a male gender, the male gender or the female gender, it doesn't matter. And the pregnancy itself was the creative energy of birthing a new age, birthing a new you. In the individual sense, it's birthing a new you so that you can be the change that you need. The sun, clothed in the sun, sun typically in Egyptian times, the sun was very masculine energy, was divine masculine energy, and that divine masculine energy, I find it interesting they use the word clothed with the sun. In other words, it protected the individual. It protected the individual. And that's very masculine energy in that it clothed the person. So make sure that she had the space that she needs, she was protected, she was honored in that time of a vulnerable time for her. And the moon was under her feet. The moon in Egyptian times was feminine energy. And the feminine energy supports you through everything. And so the moon representing under the feet was very grounding, was very supportive, and the two of them working together is key here. Because it wasn't just the sun wrapped around her, it wasn't just the moon under her feet. The two of them together protected her during that process as she was giving birth, as she was going through a birth. Are you with me? And she had a crown of 12 stars on her head. Now, the stars, if I remember correctly, the stars represent a divine perfection and a source energy that's flowing through us. Now, I find it very interesting because I did not talk about this, even though I got this insight back in May, but I did not express it specifically. But the 12 stars, there's 12 chakras there's more than 12 chakras, but it's been proven that. But the first 12 chakras in the ascension, how we ascend, how we raise our energy, how we raise our vibration, how help support us through our transformation and lifting to, or like transforming our lives into a higher vibrational state with less struggle, less strife. Those 12 chakras have source energy flowing through them. And it's important to see that connection here. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to go to the next verse. The next verse 3-4. Okay, so we know that your higher self is in labor. So you're starting to experience some struggle, some pain, some things are happening to your physical self that you maybe don't understand, and you're really in this you're really in a vulnerable state. You're in a vulnerable state. But through that, in Revelations 12:1-2, you were supported. Even though you were in that vulnerable state, you weren't worried, you weren't scared, you knew that this was what you were going to be, because you were grounded and supported by your feminine energy, and you were wrapped in your masculine energy, and you knew that you were okay. You knew that no matter what, you would be okay. Revelations 12:3-4 says, "Then another sign appeared in heaven. An enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his heads. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that he might devour her child the moment it was born." Now, in May, I was shown that as an individual journey through our transformation, through this rebirth that we have, through this birth that we are going through as an individual being. The red dragon, is not an evil entity. The red dragon is really more of a way to keep us, and it's our brain. It's our brain that has kept us safe all this long and protected us, and because we weren't trusting in the masculine energy the way it was intended to trust. And that's key here, because there has been this misconception that the masculine energy that is there to protect us, there to be there for us, there is outside of us, is not flowing through us, but is outside of us. And it's disconnected in some way. Now, what I was shown is that the color red indicates safety and security and support. It's linked to the root chakra red. But it's also linked to the energy that we often, when we find ourselves getting too much in our head, not trusting ourselves, it will shake up it will wobble our root chakra. It will make us think that there's something to be fearful about, there's something to worry about, there's something to doubt. There is that our safety and security is not supported. And this red dragon is really, it was the energy for that red dragon in Revelations 12:3-4 is very much I'm here to protect you. It thought that child that was being born, that new rebirth that was happening, was causing causing that woman, that higher being, pain and discomfort. And so, just like our brain, our amygdala does the same thing. When we are in pain, or when we find ourselves worried about something, or something happens that we have been worried about in the past or have experienced trauma with, it will start to send warning signs to us, and it will try and stop us from going through an uncertainty. It will try and stop us from anything that is uncertain, because it thinks that we will repeat or experience something even worse than we have before. Even that, in this sense, even repeating the struggle, going down the same pathway we've always gone, is at least known and safer to the amygdala than going down a new path. It is not meant to be anything to be fearful of. The brain is not anything to be fearful of. It's just knowing the patterns, knowing that if you're doing something that is new, if you're using new tools in your transformation, or you're choosing new habits, new healthier habits, new pathways to go down in your journey, choosing new careers, choosing new types of relationships, choosing new habits to take care of your physical health, all of those things, your brain is going to go, I don't know what's down there, so I'm going to stop this. I am going to devour this new child that this person is trying to give birth to, and stop it before something bad really happens to this person. And interesting enough, in doing all this, it saw the stars as a threat to the transformation, to the birth. And it swung its tail and swept the third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. Now, there is more information on seven out of the 12 chakras are really deeply known. There's lots of information out there for them. The Earth Star Chakra is less known, but there's 4 remaining that are, there's very little information out there. It's hard to find accurate information about those 4. And I find it very interesting that 8 you can find lots of information for, and 4 you can't. And a third of the stars were flung to the earth, tossed away, as a way to help, a way to prevent this birth from happening, a way to stop this birth from happening. But I'm here to tell you that when I started exploring more about these gifts that I was shown, the gifts that were specifically handed to me and shown to me and taught to me from divine beings, I was guided to learn about 8 chakras specifically. And when I explored the other 4, I was told they matter, but they're not going to impact the ascension that people deserve. So my chakra cleanse and flow has a deep cleansing of 8 of your chakras, and will get you to the point where you can ascend your to your higher vibrational energies and work through the other 4 unknowingly and be okay. And be okay. And I've seen that time and time again. Now, I don't tell people that, this is an ascension tool, but it is. It essentially is. Individually, we are being asked to transform our lives and create a life we love by allowing the energies that support us and protect us, the masculine energy and the feminine energy that we have naturally flowing through us, through our chakras, to protect us and support us through all of through our journey, through our transformation, through our personal development, whatever you want to call it, your growth and your expansion. When we're doing that, we are creating new possibilities. We are rebirthing a new life. Individually. So, what about collectively though? The stars. So one of the messages with regards to this was the first message for this week was, embrace what you feel and lift your eyes to the stars. Now, the stars on September 11th are going to show us a woman that has the sun wrapped around her and the moon at her feet. It's Revelations 12. Revelations 12, 1 to 2. A wondrous sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. Now, in collectively, we are birthing a new age. We are starting that transition from the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius. And there's some people that believe we are already in the age of Aquarius. I haven't gotten that message. What I've received is that we were at the beginning of at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, we started that transition. We were already in the pregnancy, and we have been experiencing an increase in creative energies through the first part of 2021. So that is definitely, September's 9 months, so we're gonna start birthing soon, right? So, the increase of creative energies have definitely been experienced through all of this, helping us get closer to who we are, to rebirth a new you, someone that's closer to who you're meant to be, really getting to know who you are individually. But as a collective, we've all been feeling this way, and in that there has been some people that have struggled and have been feeling the increase in energies, and as they feel these increase in energies, they feel more weighed down than they ever have before because of the energy, the lower energy that they have within their chakras, within their physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. Collectively, we are creating new opportunities. We are individually being the change we need so that we can be the change the world needs. And this is where we are birthing a new age. We are birthing a new age transitioning out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. When that happens specifically, I don't know. But I do know that we are in that transition period. And it may not be 9 months, it may be years, but it is a way, it's giving us a time, it's giving us the time that we need to get where we need to be, both individually and collectively. And so the age of Pisces, the purpose of the age of Pisces was to release the lower energies, like use both the feminine and masculine energies together to rise up out of the waters, to free ourselves from the struggle. But instead, a lot of what has happened is the feminine energy was very much left in the shadows, was pushed out of a lot of the beliefs in the world. and misunderstood, and we were told to not trust that energy. And in doing that, there was a misconception of what the masculine energy really was. We are transitioning into the age of Aquarius, where we'll rise up. In doing this, before we actually get into the age of Aquarius, during this transition, we will rise up and create new possibilities while being, and we'll grow into the leaders. Actually, in the age of Aquarius, let me back up. In the age of Aquarius, we are rising up out of the water. More and more of us will continue to rise up out of the water and be more in flow with our divine. And the leaders will help us and support us during this movement. We will be more creative in technology, we will be more creative in health and wellness, we will be more creative in life in general than we've ever been up until this point. But in order to do this, in the transition into the age of Aquarius from the age of Pisces, it's time for us to rise out of the waters, out of the troubled waters that we've been living in, and allow both of our feminine and masculine energies to empower us to create a life of opportunity. The feminine energy, the masculine energy in truth relies on the feminine energy for knowledge, for source, for empowerment, for direction. And then the masculine energy is there to help support us and guide us in a way that protects us in a very honorable, respectful, and empowering, and with the highest integrity for both, not only ourselves, but for other people. So this idea that we need to fight, this idea that we need to be combative with people, to fight the good fight, our true masculine energy knows that we don't have to do that. It knows that truth will prevail. In this message, the steps that you can take that will help you through this is not to discount what you are feeling when you are feeling disempowered in any way. When you are feeling doubtful, when you are feeling, when you catch yourself modulating who you are, filtering who you are, it's no self-judgment. No self-judgment. But I want you to recognize how you are feeling. Because when we see ourselves, oftentimes we've been taught, well, we can't feel that way. We need to, positive vibes, positive, inspirational messages. Let's use that inspirational quote. And we push aside how we're feeling. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to stay stuck in that feeling, but I want you to recognize it just for a moment and acknowledge it. Because when we push it aside, we're telling ourselves we don't trust ourselves. And that's the core point of our individual journey, is learning how to trust ourselves. Learning to look into that red dragon that's telling us that there's something to worry about and say, I hear you, but I'm okay. I'll be good. I'll be good. If you continue reading Revelations 12, you will find that the dragon did not succeed in devouring the baby. The baby was fine. The baby, it was all good. The birth happened, the transformation happened. We will be okay. There are going to be things that could come out this week that are shocking for many of us. Things that shock our core beliefs of what we thought was real for most of our life. Things that we, stories that we believed that we think are going to happen on one way, or that were happen one way, and we'll find that it didn't happen that way. And I'm talking to both camps here, because life has been very polarizing, where there's like people over here believing one thing, people over here believing another, and it's been very combative. So things are going to start coming out near the end of this week, or even it's already started last week. And it's just going to continue. But I want you to know that there's truth in there. Whatever you are hearing, I need you to try and discern the truth and not just discount whatever you've been guided to watch. And I mean this, if you are being guided to look something up or watch something, there's a reason. And I want you to just sit with it and discern it, to filter out what's truth and not truth. Because I am going to tell you that as a collective, there has been a red dragon that has tried to stop the transformation into this new age. It's trying to weigh us down and continue to influence us in a way that is stopping us from hearing the truth. But it doesn't succeed. So, the way to do this, the way to know how to discern between truth and illusion, is to continue recognizing how you're feeling and the thoughts that you've had, and know that you are supported as you step into your power once again. So it's sitting there and going, okay, yes, I've been doubting myself. What do I need to come back into alignment, to come out of my doubt? That might be an affirmation rant. It might be a truth rant. It might be an action that you're told to take. It might be stepping away from the conversation so that you're not being combative with another person, so that you're honoring yourself and the other person in that situation. That brings me to point number 2. Be the beacon of light to help light the way. Only truth has integrity and can stand the test of time. So yes, there is going to be truth that is going to come out as a collective. As an individual, many are still stuck in the raging waters. And some are lifting their hands and asking for help. And others are drowning because they are focusing on the raging waters instead of looking towards the stars. Instead of looking up and asking, how can I step forward in my journey? How can I feel protected and supported through my journey? We are all reflections of ourselves. As a collective, we are all reflections of ourselves. It's those mirrors that we see. So when we work through those mirrors, those triggers, we shine. We shine as we work through and alchemize the lower vibrational energy. We are naturally living life with light energy, and it's shining through us. And we are lighting the way for other people. We are modeling these tools. We are modeling these tools so other people know the path to take. They see the difference in you and are drawn to that. When we be the change that we need, we are being the change the world needs, because it will be a positive ripple effect. Now, the third message. There was a misconception of masculine energy in that it thought it didn't, we were told that there was no need for feminine energy. But the truth is that even when Jesus was on earth, he worked in partnership with Mary Magdalene. Even on earth, Jesus and Mary worked together as a team. I was not planning on saying that. So, I want you to know that when you are using the real masculine energy, the one that relies on the feminine energy as support, you will move mountains, and you will be reminded, and it will remind you of your true self, the you that you're meant to be. When you're doing this, you are held with love, power, wisdom, and illumination. When you do this, you are honoring yourself with integrity and respect and love and honor. And you're doing the same for other people at the same time. There's no combative nature. There's no competition. We are working together to be the change that we need. The time has come for us to stop with the fluffiness and going, okay, well, I need to just stop thinking about those negative thoughts and I'm going to push those aside and think these positive thoughts. No. Recognize what you're going through and face it and go, okay, what do I need to do? Ask yourself, what do I need to do to be the change that I need? And you will be guided. Our mind is wired to give us these answers. The message that I got was through adversity. And yes, there will be adversity that will come up. And it will appear to be very polarizing energies for some people, and very polarizing experiences for some people. But I want you to know that through this adversity, if you want change, you need to be that change. And you need to take responsibility for who you are and hold the vision of what you wish to create and work together with others. Responsibility is not doing something by ourselves, but it is choosing how we are going to respond to a situation. How we are choosing to respond. It's our ability to respond in a healthier way. It is our ability to pause before reacting and choosing a healthier way to act. And that healthier way to act is really being guided through our masculine energy, who, by the way, is using guidance from our feminine energy to help us through that. Now, there's some people that are going to struggle with hearing this message. And I get that. I do. I do get that. And all I can say is that I'm planting seeds. And you can choose to see them and think about them and let them resonate through you and work through what you need to work through. Or you can ignore it. It's your choice. I will tell you this, that I tried ignoring my journey for a very long time. And I did not ask for this specific journey, but I was tired of the struggle. I was tired of fighting it. And I was tired of resisting my purpose, unknowingly that that's what I was doing. And I had mental health, anxiety, physical health problems. And finally, I said, enough. Enough. What do I need to do? And over my journey, I was shown this. Through my guides, through God, I was given this information, divinely given this information. I can tell you that this video was not easy for me to do. And it's probably why I chose to just hit record and not plan every word, because I would try and filter what I was going to say more if I planned every word. So, I hope you got what you needed to get from this video. I hope that it will resonate with you on some level. If you feel compelled and would to share the love. I'd appreciate it if you could share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or want to share what resonated with you, please post a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you are in Soul Talk membership and you are, and things have resonated with you deeply, I encourage you to post in the Soul Talk chat group, chat community, so that we can celebrate with you and explore how this video helped you. If you'd like to buy me a virtual coffee, I'd appreciate it. That's another way to share the love. I use these funds to help support my family and be able to create content similar to this on a regular basis. The Soul Talk membership is a passion project for me, and we would love to have you join us. You can find out more information. I'll post the link in the description. The Soul Talk membership is definitely modified from my May video, and so you will, there's way more available for benefits than there was back then, and I've consolidated it into one membership option to simplify it for people. So absolutely no obligation to commit to any period of time. Join for 1 month, join for 6 months, join for 10 years. I'd love to have you either way. Until next time, thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for being you. And all I ask is that you be simply you. Much love.